You're my late night entertainment, AL West broadcast.
I appreciate that. That's great. I like it.
How was the break?
The break was good. Obviously, it goes quick, but it was kind of nice to get away and enjoy some time with my family. And obviously, 6 of our guys were pretty busy. 7 when you count Frankie. So we had quite a bit of representation, but a lot of energy in the building today with guys getting back and getting ready to get back underway.
How much do you dial into the All-Star game, especially when you have 6 guys there?
Yeah, so I tried to stay away from a lot of it. I mean, I checked in on it, and you say you're going to get away, but you don't really get away because you have a little bit of attention on that. I wanted to see our guys get in and get out of the game and be done with it. And so I paid attention to the box score and peeked every now and then at it, but tried to not take any time away from my break.
I'm sure you at least saw the highlights of the swing off with Ford were there at the end of the All-Star game. What did you think about that?
Yeah, it's unique. I saw more of the highlights of it, and I think anything that we can do to bring a little bit of excitement to an exhibition game. I mean, I don't think we need to get too caught up in what it means or the theory that it would help a real game, but exhibition games, like all things that bring some fun and some newness to the sport, is probably a good thing. So it's entertaining, which is what that game is really all about. And yeah, I mean, obviously I wish the American League would have won just because we're in the American League, but it brought a new exciting twist at the end.
I saw the injury update with Sawyer and Alex.
Yeah.
How many more boxes does Kerry have to check before you can get into
So Kerry ran today back in Detroit, and I think he got up to 90% of his max, which is a good sign. He needs to get on the bases. We need to hit him some live fungos and do some things to before we can really get him on a field in the game. It's tricky with the minor leagues because the FCL is the only thing open on a Monday. So, if he can't get in over the weekend, which is unlikely for him to play this weekend, then we may target next week. But he's getting closer and closer because the baseball stuff is picking up and he's responding well to all the running. And hopefully, we can see that sustain itself when he starts getting into the baseball stuff.
AJ, this club's had an exciting week with Friday Night Baseball, All-Star Game, and then Sunday Night Baseball. What about the media and national recognition? How excited are you that this club's kind of getting the spotlight it deserves, being the best team in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I wish Sunday Night Baseball was at like 2 o'clock as opposed to late night. Sunday baseball. But the getaway day stuff is really the only thing, and it's always nice to get some nationally broadcast games and get some attention on our players and on our team. And I'm not sure what it really does other than change our schedule, but we have a lot of respect for what it's taken to get for people to even care what the Tigers are doing and what we're doing as a team. So we'll welcome it. We have another one coming up in August when we go to Philadelphia, and the real national attention games you want to play are in October, and we got to experience that a little bit last year. And I don't think it really changes anything for our team. We're obviously play the games that tell us to play.
The way the first half ended with the bullpen, a lot of runs scored in the last 3 innings. How big of a concern is that? How much is that this break can maybe solve some of that?
Well, I mean, psychologically, I think the break is good for it. I wouldn't have talked about it if you wouldn't have brought it up because we've forgotten about it. 4 days is an amazing thing to your memory. But I think it's part of the season. I think we were the last team to lose 4 games in a row out of 30. It happens. It happens to everybody, and because this league's tough. We ran into a really hot team, was pretty good, and when you don't execute against those teams, they should do that. I think that's what this sport is all about. So I didn't love the way that we finished. Obviously, we wanted to win that series, similarly how we did a series prior against Tampa, which gets glossed over on the homestand because of the way that the homestand ended. So we're going to choose to still believe in this team and that we're good in this bullpen that's good. And the break came at a really good time so that we could get away from that, that trend that was going on over a couple of games where Seattle came out and beat us up.
How happy were you for Zach to be part of All-Star experience, even though he was pretty late out there?
McKinstry?
Yeah.
I was thrilled for him because if you're around our team at all, You realize he's a huge piece of what we're doing right around here, and he's been used at a lot of different positions. I didn't want to see him penalized for that. Sometimes if you don't man one position, you get lost a little bit. He's played a lot of third base, but as I told Booney when he got named, you can literally, he could be the answer for anything that happens in the game. Please don't catch him, please don't pitch him, although I've pitched him before. But literally whatever happens in the game, just put him there and don't worry about it. And that's not only just a useful player, but he's been really good. The way he has put up at bats, the way he has continued to play good defense at multiple positions. He's handled lefties, which is why he's still in the lineup against left-handed pitching. He's truly a definition of an all-star on a good team.
Casey Mize at the All-Star game talked about his journey, from your standpoint. What has stood out the most to you about whether he's handled the ups and downs of his career that's now led him to being an all-star?
Yeah, no, he's a tough dude, man. He's had to go through a lot. It hasn't outside of draft day, when I think everybody, thought that he was on top of the world. He's had to fight for everything that he's gotten through injury, through performance. 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, we were talking to him in the bullpen in Cleveland about not being on the playoff roster. And he's had so many range of emotions over the course of his 3 or 4 year career in the big leagues. So I'm proud of him because he's endured a lot mentally and physically, and he got rewarded with an all-star nod that was well deserved. He's been amazing for us, and again, a guy that can get glossed over because of the magnitude of the attention that Tarek gets, or Jack, or some of the offensive things that we've been doing on the field. Like Casey's been a steady force in a good rotation on a good team, and those are not easy to accomplishments. Just by showing up, you got to be good.
What do you think it says about him that even though maybe I'm sure mentally, emotionally, there were a lot of challenges internally, right? Externally, never really showed it. It seemed like he seemed pretty locked in all the time.
I mean, I see him behind closed doors more than you do, and I think I've seen him be more emotional, about his journey. He just wants to be good. He wants to contribute. He wants to be a good teammate. He wants to be an elite pitcher, and he's had to put in a lot of work. I mean, his prep routine is as long as anybody that I've been around, and he's very disciplined with it. So I think we can push him to be even better, and he's going to push himself to be even better. But for a moment, he could take a deep breath and realize that he was amongst the elite at the All-Star game, and he was one of them, and he deserved to be there.
Okay, we've all seen Kyle Raleigh, what he's done on the home run pace, home run derby. How difficult, though, would it be for a catcher to kind of keep up that kind of pace with all the grind that he goes through?
I mean, he could stop right now, and he'd have a really good season. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to do anything more. And if you look at the back of the baseball card, you're going to say he had a tremendous season. He's got, 60-some games left. So, what he's doing behind the plate is exceptional, because he's still, from the other side, comes across that defense matters to him. He's not just an offensive profile catcher who happens to catch. He's way in. And the fact that his off days are DH days, he never gets a mental break either. So I have a lot of respect for him. I don't know him, but I think for him, I'm sure there've been a lot of people that have doubted him over the years, and people can doubt all they want, but he's gonna finish this season, having a historic season behind the plate because of what he's enduring, the toughest position in the sport.
You've been a part of those teams that are still playing in October. What was your message to this club, having the best record in baseball? Just to kind of, with the longevity of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't accomplished anything yet other than our record in the first 97 games. So my job is to keep these guys humble and hungry, and I'm going to do it. These guys are ready to play the whole schedule, and I've said that when we've been counted out and down. I've said it when we've been the hottest team in baseball. So I'm just trying to stay consistent with our preparation and trying to win series. In order to do that, you've got to attack your opponent and not play the game with any sort of cloud over your record or expectations or pressure or anything. So we're going to play 162 regardless. And the better we play over the whole season, the better positioned we are to be a factor in October.
Where's Alex Cobb with his?
He's in Detroit.
Yeah, not literally, but where is he with his recovery? I know, we saw that he got injections.
Yeah, again, I mean, he's had a number of ejections, and this is, just another attempt at trying to calm down the pain that he has in both hips. This particular hip, was probably a result of longer-term issues trying to deal with his other hip. So he's doing everything he can to get on the field competitively. I still believe we're going to see him in a competitive game, relatively soon. Man, he's gone through a lot, at this point of the season that most people would not be able to endure. He's continuing to battle.